What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Hashtag Them Dragons, where we delivering you your weekly dose of that hot D. I'm your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC. And I'm joined once again by my co-host Mara the motherfucking Shark Watkins.
Hello. I
How you
thought
doing,
for a
Mara?
moment, I thought for a moment you were so taken aback by this week's episode that you forgot your name.
No, I was just seeing if you were paying attention.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
But after this week's episode, I know it threw a lot of us for a loop. But how you doing?
I'm doing all right. As some tweets had already said, the same sentiment. Kristen is still breathing. Damn it.
Somehow. So many times things happen. I'm like, all the people that dragon stepped on, and it's just like, how you missed this nigga? Like, it's just
It's just like, how is your guardian angel working this overtime? Because that's what it feels like. It just feels like he got like this guardian angel who probably has a mead drinking problem, um, but is also just working overtime to bless him every step of the way.
clearly something's happening. There's something behind this because ain't no way. So many
Ain't no
times
way.
I'm just like, ain't
Ain't
no
fucking way.
way.
To quote Future.
So Mara, overall though, how you feel about this week's episode? The red dragon and the gold.
I know last week I was like, this was a little filler for me, but it was great story. This one I wasn't expecting Aegon, what happened with Aegon to happen with Aegon, but I was kind of like on the edge of my seat for about 20 minutes
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
this episode. And then there's at least like 10 to 15 minutes of content that I'm like, I don't really care about this, but I know this will like probably lead to something with this character,
What
which we'll
part were you
talk about.
talking about?
Damon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like just stuff going on at Harrenhal. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about Harrenhal right now. I want to know what's happening with the dragons.
I don't know. That witch lady was pretty fucking funny to me. I was enjoying that.
Alice?
Yes. Her just fucking with Damon like that was really funny to me, and I was enjoying seeing that. But okay,
Yeah.
okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. They brought the dragons this time, and I was in. It's funny the 2 weeks that Matt's not here, the 2 weeks they give him what he wanted.
And
He
he's not
got
here to
titties
talk
last week
about
and
it.
dragons this week.
And he can't talk about any of it.
Nope. Only way to do it is if he was watching us live right now and if he was in the comments. And I don't see him, so he must not care that much. Justice here though. What's good? What's good? What's good?
Hello.
Good to see you, sir. But if you got no other overall thoughts, we can go ahead and get into what actually happened this week. How about that?
Yeah, because I got tweets on tweets for you.
All right. Well, we can get to those tweets as they come up. But first, we'll start with what happened at the beginning of this episode. We got, Day dreaming again. He's seeing young Rhaenyra. She's talking shit, like a whole lot of shit, and he can't handle it, so he chops her head off. And then
She's like,
after she
I
gets
bet you, I bet you've been dying to do that.
I'm about to say, then after she gets her head chopped off, she continues talking shit. like that's a level of petty I can get with. Like, yo, you chop my head off, I'm still fucking with you because I can. And ain't nothing you can do about it.
You're stuck with me.
Yeah. Um, there's a lot going on with him right now, but I want to ask you: do you think, as far as Damon goes, do you think he's like, he's resentful of Rhaenyra in any way about her, getting what he thought he should get and all that kind of stuff, or do you think there's something else?
I think so. From what I've, like what we know of the Targaryens, they say like when a Targaryen's born, you flip a coin, and we've talked about the insanity that can happen in the Targaryen line, considering all the inbreeding and shit. I've heard theories that like they may be trying to set him up as a seer, because I was watching something and they referred back to Game of Thrones when Dany apparently was having visions of certain things, as Daemon is seeing, stuff from all over. And so I think that there's some of that going on with him. And I feel like it's bubbling up his resentment towards Rhaenyra being chosen over him. So kind of yes to both of your questions. But I think I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's like a culmination of both. And it's bringing up this feeling in him.
Mm-hmm. So there's a whole thing about how Harrenhal is cursed. So it's there's that. But
too.
I think as far as what's happening with the Rhaenyra thing and all that, I don't think it's him resenting Rhaenyra. I don't think that's what it is. I think, well, you know what? Let me correct that. It is a resentment, but it's not because
it's her,
because of the throne. That's not what it is. I think his resentment towards her is the idea of his brother choosing her over him.
Yeah.
Not even like the throne has nothing to do with it, but it's just like for him, it's just like, yo, I've always had my brother's back and all that kind of stuff as far as he's concerned.
And he's always viewed me as the fuck up.
Yeah, and so he was just being passed over in general by his brother, and his brother just looking at him like, yeah, we can't fuck with you, kind of thing. That's what he resents, is his brother not wanting him, But at the same time, it's just as you watch, Viserys did want to. Like, it's just like there's so many times like I should have had you executed, bro. Like,
right.
Like, but I think that's what it is. His own, twisted thoughts on all that is what's manifesting here. But we'll see.
Twitter is having a field day with his I guess his sub story, or some people are saying like his subplot, where like they're like, House of the Dragon characters, we need to win the war, Daemon subplot. Like I saw one tweet earlier that I didn't get to like subtweet. I mean, not subtweet, a screenshot that was like, not Daemon over here doing extreme makeover at Harrenhal while everyone else is fighting a whole fucking war.
To be fair, like all he knew so far before all this, well, he did get ravens. Never mind. I was going to say all he knew was the Brackens and the Blackwoods went at it, but he's got another raven. They've also said that he hasn't answered them, so it's a thing. But
and then with him seeing shit throughout the castle, like someone mentioned the whole when he was dreaming and he saw was Aemond walking through the castle. I was just like, I caught that so like last second, because it obviously is supposed to be Aemond, but it doesn't look like Aemond. I was like, why is he running around with an eye patch? And then I was like, because that's not there.
He wishes that was Damon, but Aemond is just Aemond.
He was like, not Damon dreaming of Aemond, but since he can't remember what he looks like, he made him look like it. I was just like, imagine this is not even him dreaming. Like, this is actually Aemond with like some weird witchcraft of a
Making
mask.
himself look more like Damon because
Yeah,
he just want to be like Damon.
so bad.
But moving forward, he calls for, I guess, the young Tully, not the one that's actually in charge, not the Paramount, but
His grandson.
His grandson that's basically the one in charge because he done went senile and shit. And he was just like, all right, you here? Let's do this shit. And the kid's like, I don't know if we can do that, and blah, 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 blah. And like, yo, they already started this war. And he goes like, and he did the same thing that I do. Cause he's just like, we got the Brackens and the Blackwoods. Which one declared for us? I don't fucking know. And it's just my favorite thing because it's like, cause who really does know? Do you know which one is with Team Black and which one's with Team Green between the Brackens and the Blackwoods?
And he kept asking for clarification, and it was like, and you could tell Sir Strong was like, please, could you just remember for the sake of getting this done?
Oh man, it was one of my favorite things.
There is I'm trying to find the video that I recorded, like where they were just like, what does that when he was telling him like, you might have to kill your grandfather, and he was like, he's like, but I love my grandsire, and he's like, what does that have to do with me?
Yeah, because we need to go to war right now, and you holding this shit up. So kill that nigga, so we can go on and do what we got to do. You won't? All right, we'll call the Blackwoods or the Brackens, whoever the fuck is on our side, and I'll talk to them because I don't know which fucking one it is. So just.
I won't hold you. I enjoyed that transition that they did from him drinking that whatever Alice gave him into just waking up, then just realizing he was already at something
already
else.
In the meeting.
Yeah, like,
yeah, we'll get to that though. We'll get to that. But yeah, that was really, really, really funny to me because he's just like, all of a sudden he just there. Like, what did she give you?
Someone suggested, what if they were giving him was it nightshade? They said, I think so, or something of poppy.
Milk of the poppy.
Yeah, I think it was nightshade. But keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Then we move back over to Sea Snake Village and shit, and Rhaenys is talking to Alan because he was the one that pulled Corlys out of the water and all that shit. And at first, I'm like, why are you being creepy? Like, why? What is happening right now? But then we find out it's because she was like, you look like my husband. And, and along comes a husband like, really? We'll deal with what you did another time, but in the end, that ain't his fault. You need to reward him for what he's done. Like, I don't like the fact that you having babies with somebody else, but that ain't that baby's fault. So he saved you, raise him up like you supposed to. All right.
Someone, I saw someone talking about that on Twitter, where they were just like, they quoted what she said, and they were like, Caitlin Stark could never. He would have been up on the wall the next day. And I was like, true. That is sad, true. But that is so true.
The fucked up part about it is like Ned just had to eat that shit that wasn't even his kid. Like
he just had to accept that his wife just had to think that he was a philanderer.
Yeah. He just had to eat that shit. And it was just all right. So then I don't even have like real elaboration on this. I just had the council on Dragonstone was being stupid, just because everybody was just like basically dick swinging, and
Mm-hmm.
nothing was really getting done until Corlys comes in and puts them all in check.
Oh yeah, but then and we also see Jace stand up for his wifey.
Yeah, that too. But
there was a tweet about that. Oh my
I need
god.
to. What's up?
I was like, I keep losing my windows. I was like, there's a tweet for that.
Oh.
Where it was like, Jace, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Targaryen.
The only reason we know any of this is because of Baela's efforts. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But we got to get to my favorite part of this episode.
Tell me.
Because it's just the idea behind this is funny as fuck to me. So Alicent get herself some moon tea from the maester. It's funny as hell to me because of one thing, Mar. Alicent and Rhaenyra may not be the best of friends anymore. They may not even really, get along at all. They probably don't see eye to eye on most things. But one thing they see eye to eye on is we are not having Kristen Cole's baby. It's just that simple. They both said, fuck no, moon tea. No.
Twitter was in shambles about it. Like, to Alicent's breakfast.
The Starbucks cup makes it great because Game of Thrones in the Starbucks cup. But
yes. To half of us not even being surprised that she needed moon tea.
Me pretending to be shocked that Alicent needs moon tea after riding Kristen Cole all season. Yeah.
But my favorite one, or my favorite part, when Larys come in and he noticed the cup sitting on the table, and I was just like, I know he just made such a mental note of that, and he has bookmarked it and he has highlighted it in a certain part of his brain because he knows there's going to be a perfect moment to have that knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Especially when he walked in and she's just all like, must have been something I ate or whatever the fuck she was saying.
Over here making a heating pad for herself.
Yes.
I was just like, I don't think I've ever seen the show portray the after effects of getting moon tea, because it's not the first time we've seen it. We've seen it in the first season. I feel like we've even seen it in
Game of Thrones. Yeah,
Game of Thrones. And it's just like, I was like, I love that we show that these are real women going through who still also have to deal with cramping.
It's funny, speaking of Game of Thrones and moon tea, in the books, Marjorie, when she married Tommen.
Mm-hmm.
In the books, she wasn't fucking Tommen because Tommen was still a kid and she wasn't really fucking, but she was grown, but she was fucking. And so there was a maester. They had maester. What was the dude's name? The Grand Maester. Whatever the fuck his name was, bringing her moon tea for that because she was fucking and didn't want to get pregnant by somebody else other than the king. Then there was another one where they forgot who. I think it was Sansa got moon tea after she got raped. And it was other stuff. And so it was just like they didn't put that in the show, but in the books they did. I don't remember when they brought it up in Game of Thrones, like the actual show, but I know they did. I just can't remember when.
Yeah, like I know it's come up.
Yeah.
A couple of times. I even think at one point, wasn't it when Dany was pregnant with Khal Drogo's baby that she thought that someone slipped her something?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so, because when she was pregnant with Drogo's baby and it came out all, demon-like and all that kind of stuff,
well, that
she
was
sacrificed it to save Drogo's life.
Yeah, but no, I was saying like before we had gotten to that point, I thought someone had someone tried to like harm her and her baby.
Somebody tried to poison her, and
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like
and
they tried. Yeah,
what's his name? Mormont, Jorah
yeah,
Mormont, caught it and stopped it because he
yeah.
knew they
I
were going to
was
do it.
okay. That's
Because he
that.
was,
Okay,
yeah, on that other
that's
shit.
what I that's what I was talking about. I was like,
Okay.
someone tried her.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
But let's see. We got CC out here. Him and his folks out here just conquering places out in the crown lands, making them all bend the knee. And if they don't bend the knee, chop a head off. You know that good old thing. But back in King's Landing, small council meeting. Basically, Aegon trying to be king, and everybody around the table saying, "Shut up and sit your ass down." Like, funniest shit in the world to me, because Aemond made him look so dumb without actually making him look dumb, because nobody else sitting around that table speaks High Valyrian, so they didn't understand what was being said. But that was
Which
one of
is
those moments
funny.
between those two. Aemond just like, "You dumb motherfucker."
It was also kind of funny because like it almost seems like that almost Aegon also didn't know was being said either. Like you can clearly tell that his Valerian
Mm-hmm.
is definitely nowhere near where Aemon's
Yeah, it's one of those things like, they were clearly
skill
both
is.
taught High Valerian, growing up and all that, but one of them was clearly paying more attention than the other. Like,
And other
it's
people and everyone noticed too, because Twitter also roasted him for it. Where they're like, wait, Aiden can't speak High Valerian fluently. He needs Duolingo. Which is even funnier because it is something that is offered in Duolingo.
Oh, they do have High Valerian. I knew they had Rocky. They have High
I
Valerian there too.
I think it's High Valerian. I think maybe both of them are there.
Yeah, I
But
heard
I
they
think
had they had.
I had started one of them.
I had started learning Klingon on there once, like way back in the day. It was a while ago. It was probably when I was living in Orlando. I think Duolingo had Klingon. But
I'm over here signing in to double check.
but yeah, they're basically talking about how um Cole is gonna attack Rook's Keep, I think it was called. Yeah. And he was like, "Well, why aren't they taking Harrenhal? I want Harrenhal." And they're like, "Shut the fuck up. We're going to Rook's Keep." And it's just like, how do you know he's doing it? Because he wrote me and told me. And he's like, he wrote you. Y'all been working together without consulting me. And Aim was basically like, "Yeah, because you don't know shit. So we don't need you."
They was testing his patience. Yeah, they had
Repeatedly.
High Valerian. As I sign in, it's like, do you want to keep learning High Valerian?
My thing too is, I think a lot of this Aemon fucking with him is because of the way that Aegon was treating him last week.
Yeah.
Like when he walked in on him in the brothel and was trying to make fun of him and all that kind of shit. And he just, walked away dick swinging. And he was like, "Okay, okay." And now it's like, "I will humiliate you at every turn,"
Later
which
on.
is also one of those things when you see what happened at the end of this episode, you like,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we talked about Laris going to see Allison and that whole exchange there when he just put
Mental
that away
note.
for later. Yeah, that. And then we going back to what we are also what you brought up earlier. Dede still losing his mind in Harrenhal. We watching him going through the halls with his sword and shit, and he meets Alice Rivers. She's a strange one. I vaguely remember her from the book. Like, I don't remember her clearly, but they kind of talk. I remember them talking about her being some kind of a witch, and nobody knows how old she actually is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But she's fucking with him, and she's talking about the maester that was there. Like, he was here, but then he left in the night. He ran away or whatever because this place didn't really suit him. Basically, it's the place is cursed, and and he was just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
The demons had other plans. The demons in his brain had other plans.
Oh yeah, basically. And she ends up giving him something to help him sleep. Oh, Rhaenys, Aegon, and barbecuing each other at Rook's Rest.
Daemon at Harrenhal. We might not have got to this part yet, but the door shaking in her face has me weak.
But yeah, she gives him something to help him sleep, and we see him drink whatever she gave him, and he puts the cup down, and he's all of a sudden in this meeting with the the Brackens or the Blackwoods, whoever the fuck that is, and basically agreeing like, okay, we gonna go fuck some shit up. But in the middle of this meeting, he's constantly seeing shit, and it is not going like he sees dead baby mama. He sees other people just walking through and around and shit, and other people that sitting next to him like, you're not supposed to be there, and he's just yeah. But
all out at war, people dying and dragons fighting. Meanwhile, Daemon in Harrenhal.
Yeah, it was just like that, talking to nobody. Then another fun moment of this episode. Aegon returns to his quarters, I guess is what it is, and Alicent's looking for some books, and she's like, yo, what'd you do with the history books that were in here? And he was like, I got them out of here. And she was about to go off on him, and he was like, I just removed them. I didn't burn them. Like, chill. But then he starts going on and on about how nobody respects him and nobody cares what he has to say and all that kind of stuff. And Alicent went on to say, yeah, nobody does, and neither do I. Like you have me, I ruled this kingdom for like the last 20 years or some shit. Your grandfather is like one of the wisest men in all the 7 kingdoms and shit. You should be on your knees basically begging us for counsel, and you are ignoring us. And what you really do is shut the fuck down and shut the fuck up. What were you saying?
It was crazy because I forgot to mention it. I think earlier when Alicent was talking with Larys, I think, or maybe it was during this conversation when she had said only a few weeks ago, my Lord husband was alive. And I was like, a few weeks.
Yeah, it's only been a few weeks. A lot has happened in a few weeks. Now that depends on what you consider a few.
Yeah, but it's just like I feel like when people generally mention something and measure it in weeks, I feel like it's anything I want to say within 6 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I'd say they do that with anything short of 2 months. You would measure it in weeks. But yeah, even still, that is still a very short period of time
for all of those things to happen, and then realizing because even when they were getting on Rhaenyra about where she had been, you realize it takes a number of days for her to go to and from King's Landing. Because it's like in my brain, I was like, that's not like going from New York to New Jersey. And it's like, no, bitch, they have to go by boat.
It would be if she was on Dragonback, but she had to travel, by more secret means. Yeah.
And so it's just like thinking of like all of those things happening. I was just like, oh my God, how much of this stuff is overlapping with each other? Like,
that's what a lot of it is. A lot of these things are happening at the same time as other things, so it seems like it's happening over a longer span of time, but it's really not. But yeah, this whole thing with Alicent and Aegon, when she's basically saying like, what you should be doing right now is nothing. You need to just sit down and learn, and we don't do everything else. Don't do a damn thing. During this whole thing, I'm just watching. So I'm like, he gonna cry in the car. Like I'm watching this.
He gonna cry in the back seat all the way home.
Yeah. Aegon gonna cry in the car.
Like that was like the equation of like your mom going off at you while you're in the checkout line in front of a busy Walmart.
Back with Team Black over at Dragonstone, they still going back and forth, and Rhaenyra returns. And something occurred to me when this happened, because nobody knew where she was at or anything like that except for Rhaenys, which she didn't really know. She just kind of had a feeling because she didn't tell her where she was going either. But I'm watching this and I'm like, why doesn't she have a hand? Like, why doesn't she appoint anybody as her hand?
Rhaenyra?
Yeah.
I thought Rhaenys was her hand.
No. She's just always the one that comes to her with some answers and counseling, but she never actually appointed her hand.
I could have swore she had a hand pin like a week ago.
You can look it up, but I'm 98.9% sure she has not appointed anybody as her hand.
Excuse me. Oh. Maybe help if I was more specific.
Like, it would make sense if she appointed like maybe Corlys or something like that, but
there we go.
Like, nobody's actually in charge when when Rhaenyra's gone. That's why the council's all having a pissing contest. Because if she was and she had a hand, it would be clear this is who's in charge.
Hold on. Everything keeps showing me, like, if I Google like Rhaenys' hand to the queen, it takes me to like wikis of book data, and I was like, no,
not the book data. In the book thing,
we need the show. It's
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because I could have swore someone pointed out, or like I saw somewhere that they pointed out that she was wearing like a hand pin, like I think last week, but I don't remember. I'd have to like fully go back and rewatch it.
But during this meeting here, they're talking.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you know, say it in the comments. But like, I'm almost positive she had not appointed a hand. But then they bring up the fact that Rook's Rest is being attacked, and like, we don't really have, there's no army to really defend it, and one of them is actually in charge of Rook's Rest or something. That's one of their people. And Rhaenyra's like, yeah, well, they've been taking my patience for weakness, so now it's time to show them why that's an error. So let's go, bring the dragon. I'm gonna hop on mine. I'm gonna head on over there. And Rhaenys was like, no. You will not. You need to stay your queen ass here. I got the biggest dragon. I got the most experience. I got this. And the minute that she said that, I was like, oh, fuck. She gonna die.
Yeah.
She gonna die. Like this. Because my thing is, I don't often give Kristen Cole, credit. But I knew if he was attacking that close to Dragonstone, like he's just right across the bay and all that, there's no way he did that and didn't think the dragon was coming. He had to know, and he had to have a plan for it. And I was worried about what that plan would be. I did see they were cutting down a whole lot of trees. So I was expecting for them to have one of them scorpions that they use to shoot,
the arrows and such.
Yeah, the big one that they had in Game of Thrones that that
Took
Cersei
out,
found underneath the
yeah,
yeah,
it took
yeah.
out one of Daenerys, Danny's dragons with it.
Well, it didn't kill it. It shot one, but didn't kill it.
Oh yeah,
It hit Drogon and brought him down, but he didn't die.
yeah.
Um. Anyway, so that battle starts. There's all that happening. Rhaenys rides off on her dragon, and while that's happening, Aegon is also getting himself good and drunk and hopping on his dragon to ride out there. And while
Crazy.
that's happening, Rhaenyra is telling Jace about the Song of Ice and Fire and why she's fighting so hard right now. Like it's not just about me having the throne. It's like it's about more than just that. Like it's about the Song of Ice and Fire. And so she's telling him that Aegon's on his dragon on his way out there where he had no business. And let me tell you though, like this particular situation, dumb as fuck. He shouldn't be doing this, but I 100% guarantee you, if Travis could ride dragons, there would be some drunk dragon riding happening. There's no way that Travis wouldn't be doing any drunk dragon riding. We'd have to get special made saddles and shit and make sure that we had the ones like, that Rhaenys had where they strap you in so you can't fall off.
That was like I think the first time I ever noticed the straps that they used to hold them in.
Yeah, it was one I hadn't seen them before either in the show, but I know what was it? Did you see the movie Aegon back in the day?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
I know a lot of people were upset about it.
Yeah, because the book is so much better. Like it's ridiculous how. Thing is, I saw the movie first before I read the books, so I didn't understand, and then I read the books. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah, they.
That's how I felt about
What the
Percy
fuck? Do
Jackson
better.
and the Lightning Thief.
I've still never seen those movies. I've only read the books, but
Yep.
well, I saw the show too. Like
no, the show does it justice.
Yeah, but I never saw the movies. But
I will say after exhaustive search, and I mean like just kind of deep searching as much as I'm willing to. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything says it directly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go back and watch the episode at some point and be like, let me just see if I see it on here, because I could have swore I did, but I could also be bugging. I could also be just confusing the amount of times the hand to the king has changed 50,000 times in this show. So I'm constantly seeing the pen moving around. So
Otto's hand, Otto's not hand, Otto's hand again, Otto's not hand.
But Kristen Cole, he doesn't have a pin.
Right,
he has a little chain.
Yeah, he has one because he can't pin on the armor, so he had to get the yeah.
If he really wanted to, he would.
So Rhaenys arrives at Rook's Rest to set some shit on fire, and I'm like, yeah, burn this motherfucker, all of them,
burn it to the ground.
Yeah. And at that point, Kristen Cole's like, yep, send the signal because this is exactly what I was waiting for. And the signal was for Aemond to come rise up out the ground, because that's why they were chopping down trees, was to hide Vhagar. And he's rising up. But as he's rising up, he sees Aegon's dumbass on his dragon.
And he's like, hold on.
Like, oh, this idiot. Yeah,
don't get up.
Go ahead. You wait right here, Vhagar. And you can see Vhagar. She just like, really?
Fine.
Like, what the fuck you get me up for? She just lay back down.
Because she's old.
Yeah.
And people notice that Vhagar is so damn old. She just wants a nap and not to be bothered with all this bullshit. Let Nana nap.
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree with them. Let Nana nap.
Let her nap. We were just saying earlier, Matt, like they finally in the last couple episodes give you what you want, and then you're not here to talk about it. And it's funny.
You should just pop on in.
Oh man. But lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Oh,
I'm sorry.
so Aegon shows up on Sunfire, meets Rhaenys and Meleys in battle, and gets his ass thoroughly whooped. Um, and then Vhagar finally shows up, Aemond and Vhagar, and they come in. They kind of not really team up because Vhagar's not really fucking with him like that. And Aemond just said, you know what? They both right there. We got them. Whatever.
Two stones.
Dracarys.
Oh, what or what? Two birds,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
stone.
So
Two
interesting
birds,
thing
one
here,
stone.
something I remember from the books, not how this happened in the books, but it makes sense. In the books, it's written that they attacked together and worked together in this battle. Like it was basically a coordinated 2-on-1 battle by design. Um, which makes sense because, like I said before, the book is written like it's a historical account, and history is
Mm-hmm.
written, by the victors, and of course they're going to write it like this was the plan all along, and this is what we did.
Right. We're not stupid or anything. It's
Yeah, yeah. So was that just you talking about last week? The ping we got last week. Is that what that was for?
probably.
Um, but yeah, Dragon Battle. He Dracarys them both, but he takes some blows. Rhaenys is all right, and Aegon is off somewhere else after he got all fucked up.
It was so funny because like when Damon shows up with Vagar, Aegon's like, thank the gods.
Short lived.
And then Aemon's like, gotcha, bitch.
Yes. Oh man, I remember that stand up.
One of the best.
Yeah, man, I was killing them softly. Good old days.
People also rejoiced that it seemed like Aegon took him out the game.
I mean, Aemond took him out the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So after
Sorry.
that exchange, we got some more of Rhaenys and Aemond dragon fighting, and we see, like I was saying when we were watching it, and Vagar's way bigger. We know that, but Meleys is more
Has
maneuverable.
experience.
More
Yeah.
maneuverable. Which no, she doesn't have experience. Vagar's older. Like Vagar's been around forever. That's why he's so big. He's the oldest dragon. He got the most experience, but he doesn't. He's not as maneuverable. And so Rhaenys is just like, yeah, we can come up under here. So she's got more experience over Aemond. You're right there.
Yeah.
But she, they, outmaneuver him, and that's kind of how they're kind of getting the upper hand. And they have their exchange. She's a little worse for wear, but she's alive. And she's, starting to fly away. I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to make it. And then she turns around, Mara.
I
And I'm
was
like,
like, what are you
God damn it, she's
doing?
definitely dying. I thought
What are
maybe
you
I'm wrong.
doing?
Maybe they weren't going to do it. Maybe they were just teasing us to make us think that that's what was going to happen. They don't actually do it. And then she turns around like, oh, fuck, she's definitely about to die now.
Because, like, you could just see it in her face. Like, she has, like, just this look of, like, yep, I've hit my peak. This is it. And it was like, even like Meleys knew like, this, you do realize what we're doing, right? Like, you do know. You realize what you're getting us into. Where it's like, if I send you this, just know I fuck with you, but we on a dummy mission.
Mm-hmm.
The way Meleys looks back at her,
Yeah. When she just looks back like,
I'm
okay, is this it?
screaming
This
mad.
is it. This is it. All right, let's go. We only know one dragon is dead. At the end of the episode, Sunfire was still alive.
Yeah.
Struggling, barely breathing and shit. But Sunfire was still alive at the end of the episode.
Not really a useful dragon anymore, but still alive.
Yeah, yeah.
But then we got
Okay. He was counting
people really,
Rhaenys. Okay.
yeah, he was like, all hell, Maelys and Princess Rhaenys, the Dragon Slayers, and then they were like, oh shit, fuck what you heard.
Oh man. So
Twitter
yeah,
had a lot of feelings about that.
I love the fact though that just Aegon just got all the way fucked up. But I am
It's the ass whooping he needed.
yeah. But I'm not happy about what happened after this when Rhaenys goes down with Meleys, and it wasn't the Vagar's size really was the factor here, and it wasn't the way that he took out they took out Luke before, where he just bit and snapped the whole dragon in half because he was so young and small. Meleys was bigger, so he took a hold of the neck and chomped right through her neck though, and it was just like fuck.
It was like, nope, we're biting the kill this time. This is over. We are done.
Yeah,
It's time to go home.
And all the dragon blood rained down, burning the fuck out of people. All the
sorry, me trying to save Meleys and Rhaenys.
Oh man, but like I was saying, all the dragon blood raining down and burning people up, all the literal dragon fire burning people all the way up, dragon stepping on niggas, all that kind of stuff. Yet Kristen Cole is still fucking alive. Got knocked out and everything. Perfect opportunity for somebody to just crush him. Just.
This man is like a cat with like 9 lives. Like when?
I personally have no beef with Vagar.
I don't either, but
Vagar does exactly what I expect that big ass dragon to do. Like it is.
Yeah, that is true. No, it's like, but this reaction is really just to Kristen.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, even when they killed Luke, like that's a big ass old grumpy dragon. You brought that big ass grumpy dragon around them motherfuckers, and they blew fire at him. He's like, no, fuck you, and she killed him. Like that's kind of what happened. That's exactly what I expect to happen. That's on Aemond. That is not on Vagar.
Yeah, because it was like with Luke, like it was more or less that like Vagar, he was still gaining. He was still, I guess, like there was times where he was trying to maintain his control, as opposed to like now, it's seeming like he's gotten more of a soul bond with Vagar to be like, trust me.
Mm-hmm. So
I know we don't have beef with Vagar, but Twitter does.
Well, Twitter is often wrong.
Can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it.
How long will me continue to suffer because of this decrepit listener?
Again, this dragon is just doing what a big ass old dragon is gonna do. This is I 100% say this is on Aemond. Like Aemond is the one that brings this big ass dragon into this shit. Like we said it earlier, if it was left up to Vagar would just lay her old ass down and nap all day. Like
right.
It's definitely the case. Like you wake me up, I'm gonna do what I do. So I suggest you let me sleep. So after all that, Kristen Cole wakes up and he goes toward where they see that Aegon and Sunfire clearly crashed. And he sees Aemond, sword drawn. So I ask you, Mara, was Aemond about to kill Aegon?
He was about to finish the job.
You think so? Okay.
Because like you could like I felt like when he said Dracarys at them, he was really just like, well, and the way like he's been also like talking shit to him to instill doubt that like people take him seriously as the king, and he's just like, I could do this way better than you could. And we all know it.
That's all true. I don't know, but I don't think he was about to kill Aegon. Here's what I think. Like the whole Dracarys thing, I think in that situation, I don't think he was intentionally trying to kill Aegon. I think that was more of if he dies, he dies. I don't care. But I don't think it was I want to kill Aegon.
No, I think it's more of like an opportunity. Like this would be my chance. Like if he's already like worse for wear, he's just like finish the job. I can do this job because like at the end of the day, their purpose, huh?
No.
At the end of it all, like their goal is to take out Rhaenyra. And as you can see, him and Cole already have, because also like to appease Allison, like what Allison has said about like all of this, they're just like they're already doing the motions of what they think is the way that they would do it if it was, you know, like it's. I think it's just more of like it's an opportunity. He has to do a little bit more labor to it, but it's an opportunity that he might be able to seize in this moment. Because I think Aemond's an opportunist, and I think he has shown that since he was a child. Like even just like taking on Vhagar, it was kind of like I feel like he went in there like I could go in here and Vhagar could incinerate me or eat me, and you know that's that. Or I can get Vhagar on my side and I get a dragon, and
the dragon, like
get right. So I just think that like it's kind of more of like an opportunity presented itself, and if he could finish it or ensure it before anyone else would find him, why not?
Naked,
Well,
nothing but
those things might be true. I don't know. I just don't feel like in that moment he was about to kill him. I don't know what the sword was out for. He may have just still had his sword out from before that, you know, and just hadn't put it away yet.
Maybe he just likes that blade because that's the same. I was watching something where they pointed out that we've seen that blade several times. Like it's the one that cut Rhaenyra's hand in season 1. It's like Aegon, I think, was fucking around with it. I think an episode or 2 ago. And apparently that's the same blade that they come back to defeat the Night King in Game of Thrones. And I was like,
they defeated the Night King with that dagger. That wasn't.
Well, it's not like it was. I'd have to send you what I was watching about that brought that up, but like it pretty much showed like a very similar looking dagger, and I was just like,
Yeah, that was different than what Aemond had out though. He had a sword.
Oh, but didn't he pick up like that?
Yeah, he picked up the dagger afterwards.
Oh, okay, that's what I was talking about.
No, Aemond had a sword drawn when Kristen Cole came towards him, and he put it away. But yeah, that dagger is the same one. That's the same dagger.
Oh, okay. I was just
That's the same dagger. You know, the
I
one
was like, there's only like one of those. They made kind of emphasis on that.
Yeah, the dagger is the same dagger. That's definitely the same dagger. But yeah, that was the end. That's the end of the episode. Like Aegon is not dead, but pretty much, and Sunfire is all fucked up. Rhaenys is dead. Meleys is dead. Rook's Rest is taken. Daemon is high on weird tea, some shit, mushroom tea.
What is Rook's Rest taken? Like, I feel like
yes. When she fell down and crashed into it, broke down the wall, and then they're like, "Take the keep," and they were all rushing in and shit. Yeah, they took Rook's Rest.
It was just like so many people died. I was just like, did they? Did they?
All worth it to take out one of the dragons, though, as far as Kristen Cole is concerned.
Yeah. It's what did he call her when he arrived at Rook's Keep? Like he called Rhaenyra like something whore.
The whore of Dragonstone?
Yeah, the whore of Dragonstone. I was like, you were so mad. You are so mad.
Yeah, that she didn't want your dick enough to stay with you.
That she didn't want your dick enough to be poor with you. with your fucking tomatoes.
Oh man. Okay, Mara. Who's winning?
To be
Who's
honest,
winning this week?
I would say Aemond is winning.
I agree. 100% agree. And I think we can both agree on who's losing too.
The queen.
Well, I was
of
going to
them
say the
all.
one
The
that
queen is-
died, but
Yeah, the queen. The queen in that she's lost one of her trusted counselors, but also the queen who never was because she died.
To the queen who never was.
To the queen who never was. Oh my God, where is my screenshot?
I don't know.
Don't yell at me.
Before we give this episode our rating of how many out of 5 dragons, you got any more tweets for us?
That's what I had one, and now I just done lost it. I was like, where did it go? Here it is. Just reopen it. You can't beat me. Oh, wait, no. I don't want to leave the page. It was about to take me right out of here. That would have been something. Here we go. The queen who never was lived fearlessly and died amidst fire and blood.
Mm-hmm. Fire and blood.
I saw something that had pointed out that not only does it was it's sick enough that it's sad enough that she went out, but it's also sad that she went out by her own daughter's dragon.
Yeah.
Which makes things sadder. I think that was it with tweets, so except for if anyone asks for a photo summary of last night's episode.
Yeah, that's about it. That's about right.
Like, that's the best time I think I've ever seen this meme used.
Yeah,
the most
it's
appropriate
perfect.
way it's been used.
Especially the way Aemond is looking at Aegon. Yeah, yeah, fucking perfect.
Just like,
oh man. All right, Mara.
That's all the tweets I got.
Out of 5 dragons, what do you give this episode?
4.5.
Okay. I'm giving this solid 5. I've yet to see House of the Dragon be better than this episode, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm thinking about all the episodes of the show I've seen so far, I've had really good ones. I've had a couple 4s and all that. I don't think I've seen any episode better than this one.
I mean, I knew Rhaenys was going to die. I didn't know when, but like it's hard to avoid book spoilers at this rate because the book has been out forever. I think I would have given it 5 stars if Rhaenys hadn't died, even though I knew it was coming. There was not going to be any appeasing me with this.
These deaths had to happen though. That's what makes the show work. Like
it's funny because like I was watching this video the other day that by a YouTube channel called Useful Charts, which pretty much it broke down like the Targaryen family tree kind of in a sense back to a certain point. But it had mentioned when they connected to Game, because it was supposed to go all the way through to Game of Thrones. And once they had gotten to when they mentioned, what happened at the end of Game of Thrones with Jon Snow, and they were like, thus for ending the Targaryen line. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was just like, this man will never have children. So that means the Targaryen line actually does die out with him.
Why are we assuming that he'll never have children?
Because he went, because technically at the end he had went back to the Watch.
He went with the wildlings.
Hmm?
He was with the wildlings. So
Oh, true. But he won't be going as Targaryen, would he?
he doesn't have to call himself Targaryen to be a Targaryen, though.
Yeah.
He's still half Targaryen.
We'll see. But it just made me sad for him. I was just like, damn. Are you
Yeah.
just the whole family just gonna die off like that?
I mean, it's
It
happened.
did happen, yeah. Did Baratheon die off technically? I mean, even though he has all those other
He has
bastards.
the bastards, so there's that. But you got to think,
Unless-
in Game of Thrones, did you ever hear anybody named Hightower?
Oh, right.
Did you ever hear of anybody named Strong?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Larys isn't having children and
Right.
Harwin is already dead.
Yeah. So there are the houses that have died off. So
Yeah. Well, I would also say Baratheon might also be in jeopardy because when Daenerys burned up King's Landing, all those bastards could have been all up in that as well.
yeah, but Arya's homie though, the one she gave the pussy to.
Oh yeah.
What is his name?
His name? Jinx.
With the bull helmet and shit. What the fuck is his name?
Gendry?
Yeah, Gendry, something like that. So he's still alive.
That's right.
And if you put a baby in Arya, we still don't know if that happened or not.
Stark and Baratheon go on.
Brought them houses together just like Robert and Ned wanted to do anyway.
We just did it in a nicer way.
It just didn't happen the way we wanted it to. Oh man. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this week, Mara.
Okay.
How you feeling? What are you thinking? Think Aegon's gonna make it?
No, I feel like we're gonna see that nigga as a vegetable next week.
So you think he's gonna die from this?
I feel like he's gonna wish that they would put him out of his misery.
So you don't think he's actually gonna die, but you think he's gonna be suffering?
Yeah, they bringing that man back in a slatted box. Like
they don't want people to see him.
I get it. I was just like, I feel like they're gonna be like, he's hurt, but then Alicent's gonna be trying to do the same thing she did for Viserys, but Aemond's gonna be like, mother, let's be fucking for real.
Yeah. And it's interesting that we come across all these Targaryens and all of them, take fire damage.
Yeah, not so impervious to fire, I see.
Yeah. Unlike Dany, who said, yeah, bring that fire. I'll walk through that shit.
Oh yeah, what were all her names? Because she had quite a lot.
Yeah, I think she had. Did she have more than me? Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, The Unburned.
Yeah, there we go. I was waiting to hear that one. That was like, here we go. Also known as, oh Jesus. Okay. Princess of Dragonstone, formerly Queen of Marine, Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, Breaker of Chains, Queen of the Andals and of the First Men, Protector of the Seven Kingdoms. Also has been known as Daenerys Stormborn, Dany, Maisa, the Queen Across the Sea, the Silver Queen, and the Dragon Queen.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
That'll be it for this week's episode of #TheMDragons. We'll be back on Sunday. Catch you then. But until then, we out.
Bye.